Hello guys, welcome to Salesforce Predator. In this channel, we discuss about various concepts and technologies in Salesforce. This video is part of Lightning Web Component series, so if you want to watch any other videos of LWC, do visit the channel. In this video, we are going to discuss about how we can make server call to the Apex method in our Lightning Web Component. Okay, so there are two ways for doing so. First is using @wire to wire a property or a function in JavaScript to our Apex method, and second is calling an Apex method imperatively. Okay. So we'll discuss first that is wiring an property or a function of a JavaScript to an Apex method using @wire decorator. Okay. So first thing is for doing so you need to make your Apex method as aura enabled and then cacheable equal to true in your Apex class. Second thing you need to do is you need to import your Apex method into a JavaScript file of your component. So there is certain syntax for this. It's like import your Apex method name from @salesforce/apex/ if you have namespace, then specify the namespace, otherwise class name dot apex method. Okay. Once you have imported the method, wire your imported method to a property or a function which will receive a stream of data from your wire service, right? So using @wire decorator, you can bind your property or a function of a JavaScript to Apex method. And also, if you want to send parameters, you can send parameters like this, right? So we are going to implement this. So let's go to our VS Code. Here we'll create a Lightning Web component. So Control Shift P, create a Lightning Web component. Let's give it a name as contact list component. Contact list component. And we'll place it in LWC directory. Also, we'll create a class which will return us a list of contacts, right? So we'll go to developer console, file, new Apex class, controller. Okay. We'll write an aura enabled method. So this is similar to the aura component. So there also we need to use aura enable methods, right? We'll return a list of contacts. Get contact list. Okay. Contact list. We'll write a circle. ID, comma, last name from limit equal to suppose 10. Okay. And we'll return this list of contact, right, to our Lightning Web component. Fine. It's giving us an error. Okay. It has to be cacheable. Fine. We'll get back to our VS Code. Yeah. Now, since we have created our Apex class and Apex method, which will return list of contact, uh, we need to import it into our JavaScript file, right? So import get contact from, the syntax had to be @salesforce /apex / our controller name, it's contact list controller. Right. Dot get contact list. Fine. JavaScript will create a contact list which will hold a list of contacts returned from server. Now we'll make a call to Apex server, right, using @wire. So @wire get contact list. And first we'll bind this Apex method to a JavaScript property. Okay. Right. We'll save our changes. Okay, we need to import @track and @wire decorators. Now in the HTML file, we'll display the list of contacts. So in Aura, we used to use Aura iteration to display a list in the component file. Here we need to use for each iteration. Okay. So template, the syntax of for each iteration is like this. It's contact list for item contact. Let's use lightning card. Contact. And set that we'll use a paragraph. Contact dot last name. We have written last name from the server, right? It's giving me error because I have not used the key attribute, right? So whenever we are using iteration, we need to use a key attribute inside the lightning card, right? Missing the key attribute for lightning card using iterator. So it has to be key equal to contact dot last name. Fine. Also, this has to be contact list dot data because response is received from the server either as data or error. So if it is received as an error, we'll access it using contact list dot error, and if it is received as an success, and if we receive the data from the server, then we'll access it using contact list dot data. Okay. So we'll save our changes and deploy this to Salesforce org. We should be able to see the list of contacts, right? So till then we'll add this into an our application contact list CMP. Right, contact list CMP. So code has been deployed. Let's save this. Okay, let's save this now. So contact list dot C. Oh, it has to be C colon contact list dot CMP. Let's save this and preview this. Okay, so we are able to see the list of contacts along with its last name, right? Also, we can bind our apex method to a function instead of a property, right? So using same @wire decorator. So we'll do that now. Let's comment this. Let's get contact list, and here a JavaScript function. And it will return two parameters, uh, data and error. Okay. So if data, then we'll assign our contact list the response, right? And if there is some error, we'll display the error. It has to be this. Okay. We'll disable no console for entire file and we'll save the changes, right? So we have binded our JavaScript function with the apex method using @wire decorator, right? Also, it has to be like this. We'll save this. And in the HTML file, we don't require the data now because in the context list, we are putting the data itself, right? So if any error is there, we can put that error inside the contact list, or we can just display it in the console log only. Fine. So we'll deploy our changes to Salesforce org. Let's see if we are able to see the list of contacts or not. Also, one thing here is that this @wire call is made right after the component is loaded, right? So it gets executed before the connected callback and render methods. Okay. So let's go to this, refresh this. Yeah. So we are able to see the list of contacts. Fine. So this is how we can use @wire decorator to make the server call and bind the response to a property or a function in a JavaScript. Next is we'll see how we can use imperative call to make a server call in a Lightning Web Component. Suppose you don't want to call to an Apex method when component gets loaded, right? You want to make call to the Apex method on click of a button. So for that we use imperative method. Okay. So there are similar steps. First, you need to make your Apex method as aura enabled. You may or may not want to make it as cacheable equal to true. The next is you have to import your method into the JavaScript file and then use the imperative syntax to make call to the Apex method. Okay, so it has to be a Apex method name, and then using then and catch, you can get the result into your local variables. So it returns the promises. So you have to resolve your promises into a result or error objects. Okay, so let's go to our VS Code. We'll comment this @wire call. And instead of this, we'll use imperative call. Okay. We'll use using imperative call. We'll name it as get contacts. Okay, so get contact list is the name of method. Get contact list dot, then and here result equal to greater than sign, right? So this dot con list equal to result. And suppose some error is there, then we will use dot catch error console.log. And we'll save our changes. Okay. Now we need to create a button on click of which will make call to the Apex server, right? So we'll add a button over here. We'll deploy our code to Salesforce.org. So on click of button, it should display the list of contacts. Okay. We'll go to the Salesforce.org. Now initially it's not showing any contact. If I click on this button, yeah, so it's displaying me a list of contacts. Fine. So this is how we'll make imperative call to the Apex method, right? One more thing I wanted to point out was, yeah, so we can wire an Apex method with a dynamic parameter. So what does that mean is we can the call to Apex method using @var is done at the creation of a component only. Suppose we want that call to be done when a particular parameter's value is being changed, right? So we can do that also. So for that, we need to use dynamic parameter. We'll just comment this for now and uncomment this. Okay. And now here we'll declare a Boolean variable. So suppose @track, we'll name it as flag or show contact equal to false, right? And while making call to the Apex, we'll pass parameter over here. Okay. So flag. Notice the syntax over here. We need to use this dollar. We need to append the parameter name with $sign, right? And I'll save this in the Apex method also. I'll add a parameter. Right. Now initial value is false. So what we'll do is we'll use template if here to conditionally display the list of contacts, right? And we'll comment out this. And here we'll add a checkbox, okay? Type equal to show contacts checked equal to show contact variable, and on change we call JavaScript method. Fine. We'll save it. We'll add a JavaScript method. And here we'll this dot what's parameter name. It's a show contact to event dot target dot checked, and we'll get an event here. We'll save the changes. So what we have done is we have added a checkbox over here, and it's binded to this show contact at the track variable, so its initial value is false, so no contact should be displayed initially. And once I click on this checkbox and makes it as true, so this attribute becomes true and the list of contact is displayed. And since the value of this attribute is changing, therefore another call to an @wire will apex method will be made. Okay, so let's deploy this and check this. So there will be two calls to this get contact list method. Once when the component gets created, and second when we'll click on this checkbox. Let's refresh this. If I click on this show contact, yeah, so I can see the list of contacts. To show you that call is made twice, you can add data here. We'll deploy this to Salesforce.org. So code is deployed to Salesforce.org. Let's go to our component here. Let's refresh this. See, you can see the call is made when the component is created, and when I click on this checkbox, again there will be a call to Apex server. See, the call has been made twice, right? So this is how we can use dynamic parameter with @wire method. Fine. So in this video, we have seen how we can wire an apex method to a property or a function in a JavaScript. Also, we can use dynamic parameter along with the @wire apex method. We can use imperative way to call an apex method, and also if if we are using @wire to make an apex call, then we must make the aura enabled method as cacheable equal to true, right? So thank you guys. Do let me know your suggestions and views in the comment section. Also subscribe to our channel for more videos on Lightning Web Component.